That's all a restaurant owner in London did. He took the Radiohead idea, the Radiohead model of pay what you feel for the music. It's kind of old now. This restaurant, pay what you feel for the food. You have to pay for the drinks. Pay what you feel for the food. And so far, it seems like the restaurant is very, very busy. That's the hardest thing about having a restaurant. You just change the context. Take ideas from anywhere. And we're monetizing the space around the thing we used to sell. I think the thing we were always selling in the first place was vibe, but let's pretend it was a CD or an album. Create another album. I've seen a few people recently who've spent a very long time on their first album. Fucking finish it. Do it. Do a live album. Do an acoustic album by the side of the lake. Find your guitarist and record all of the phone messages. Then hire him back, and then fire him again, and record all those messages. Release that. Release it. And then he'll show up to your gigs with a t-shirt that says, all of my machine messages were recorded by the band, and all I got was this lousy t-shirt. Steal the t-shirt design from him. Do a cover album. We were talking yesterday about the sharp side of the moon. Also, find a note that resonates with people. And strike that note, resonate with people, and then you can take them on a journey. There might be a little bit of compromise at the beginning. Have more than one t-shirt. The question cannot be, would you like to buy a t-shirt? The question has to be, blocking the exit, which one of these shirts are you going to buy now? It's a very different question. It doesn't matter if you're only going to do one show next year or 3 shows, but if you're serious about moving forward and start gigging, you know how many events I do a day? Sometimes, or 4 events a day. If you just sell 5 more shirts at a show, 3 shows, who cares? 100 shows, that's 500 more shirts. It's not about the money, it's 500 more people who are wearing your shirt. It's 50 people who wake up the next day and go, I have no fucking clue who that band was, so I loved them. Hold on a minute, let me wipe the puke off this shirt. Well, I fucking love them. Now I better wash the shirt. And then wash the shirt and fold it, then making another connection with your band. And when you find somebody who has the live album, the acoustic album, the compilation CD of the lead guitarist phone messages, the fake German tour album, that's easy. Just go down and just grab a microphone, record an album, throw a typewriter down the stairs, and I guarantee you any words that are printed on the paper, those are cities in Germany. It's show business. That's not really a lie. But when you find that person that has all of those things, then you ask them, do you have the recipe book? Because when we made the album, we used to cook dinner for each other. And I could never listen to track 2 without smelling in my heart fresh basil. And if you don't have the recipe book, I feel like you don't have the soul of the album. It's $50. Or give them the recipe book. and insert some hard-to-find ingredients. Salt, sugar, olive oil, yeah. Red wine, yeah. Saffron. What? Saffron? Where the fuck are we gonna get saffron? I think I saw some on the band's website. How much do we need? 4 kilos. Make 3D decisions. Those are my boys, sorry. Make data-driven decisions, right? I don't think, you heard me say earlier, a business plan is just a business plan. I think you need to understand some of the basics of the business you're involved in, some basics of a spreadsheet, some basics of accounting, whatever, before you set fire to that ship. You need to understand it. You also need, I think, to make smart decisions everywhere but the music and on stage. Right? You can't smart those decisions. And if you fuck up all the other decisions, you won't be able to make the right or the wrong decisions on stage or in the music. Here's a map of the 100 largest cities in North America. Hopefully this will translate. 100 largest cities in America, North America. I wondered what would happen if we drew a line from Minneapolis down to Texas, and how many of these 100 largest, most important cities will be west of that line. Well, it turns out there's only 14 or 15 west of that line. This is 1,000 miles. This is 2,000 miles. So for a band from Chicago, traveling to Denver, to Salt Lake City, Utah, to Las Vegas, Nevada, and then to Los Angeles, you've got a 1,200-mile drive, followed by an 800-mile drive, followed by a 700-mile drive. Or, expressed differently, exploding transmission. Exploding bass player's head. I can't fucking do Exploding bass player's underpants. From the dubious microwave burrito you bought from the truck stop just outside of Salt Lake City. East of that line, it's a smallpox epidemic of opportunity. You can skateboard between some of these cities. There are great tips in my book, like how to get a better sound, how to be a better opening band. It doesn't matter if you're late, you're way more likely to be late west of that line. East of that line, you can arrive at the city early. If you're in the wrong venue, you can walk around town and find the right venue for next time. If you haven't sold many tickets, you can go to a Starbucks, a clothing store, a tattoo parlor, a Starbucks, a radio station, a piercing boutique, a hairdressing salon, or another Starbucks, and hand out guest list spots for people and get an audience to come and see you. And if the act of building a band or a brand or a cause or an idea has to do with the vibration and the connection of people together, which it does, it's the only thing that makes makes a difference, you're going to do way more of that east of that line. And that goes the whole spectrum from exchanging an email address to bodily fluids. This is more data. You can find all of this data for your unique situation. You know, you were talking about Portuguese bands going up to North America or London. Where's the Portuguese-speaking population? I don't know where they are in North America. They're probably not in New York, Chicago, Detroit. I don't fucking know. You might be really surprised. There's a large Mexican population in Chicago. There's a huge Indian population in Detroit. A Korean population in Florida. You can find maps. Find out where people who are likely to support you might be and go there. Make a data-driven decision. This is gasoline prices across North America. The most expensive gas in the country is on the West Coast. So you're driving much further distances, much faster, spending more on gas. This is just population distribution across North America. One reason you don't need to play there, there's nobody there. There's nobody there. There's nobody there. You just don't need to go to the West Coast. There's data everywhere. So for a band from Chicago traveling, this was their strategy. We're going to play the Whiskey A Go-Go in Los Angeles. And I'm like, you know what? This is great because I teach the business of touring. I wrote a book called Tour Smart, and I used to buy my speed from the cocktail waitresses at the bar next door to the Whiskey A Go-Go when I lived in Los Angeles. And I can tell you, it's a shit pay-to-play venue with a crappy sound system. And they still went. They did this tour instead of that tour. Here's how it breaks out. Imagine if this was in kilometers and Brazilian currency. They drove 6,000 miles. They could have just driven 2,000 miles. They spent $1,200 in gas. They could have spent $400 in gas. So, the $800 of tour support that the record label or the government wouldn't give them, they don't need it. They spent 114 hours in a van instead of 40 hours. They only did 11 shows, they could have done 14. A show isn't a brick in the wall. A show might be 100 more bricks in your wall of success, right? A t-shirt sold, an email address, a conversation, whatever. Ooh. You guys okay? No. Okay. This is on YouTube, and it's pretty good on YouTube, so you can find it on YouTube. It's just this. Let's say there's a very important show, and Cincinnati is not a good example. Let's say there's a very important show. You don't go there. You go to 5, 6, 7 places within easy traveling distance for your fans up there. And you go and you play hard, you rock hard, you give away shit, you accumulate email addresses. And then, when you know you have enough fans, friends, whatever, to have a successful show in Cincinnati, that's when you book the show in Cincinnati. Never take your country to war unless you're sure of the outcome. And you don't just announce the show and hope that your friends and your fans are going to go. You incentivize them to go with a carrot and a baseball bat and a fork in the eye, whatever. You announce the release of your fake Live in Germany CD. Boom! We're playing in Cincinnati, we're going to have a fake Live in Germany album. And people will say, I'll buy it on the internet. And you'll say, it's not going to be available on the internet yet. It will be available at the Cincinnati show. And then you look at the conversations people are having. And if there's a bunch of people who say, I really want to go to the show, I don't have any money for gas, give them money for gas. That's the best expenditure for an audience member you will ever make. And the cheapest. If the only thing separating you from 10 more people down the front going, yeah, is $20 for gasoline, that's a bargain. Usually, it's $20 worth of gasoline. The fact they don't care about you, they're doing something else that night, right? So, the other thing that happens, if you find someone that needs help with transportation, how easy is that to become a fucking hero? What happens after you give that person, don't give them money, don't give them money for gas, get them gas, give them a gas card or take them to the gas station. But what do they do next? Oh my God! The lead singer was just here. He heard we couldn't afford to go to the show. He came and he gave us money for gas. Oh, that's word of mouth shit right there. Okay. Technology 101. I can't stress this enough. Technology 101. Always be on the... Always be on the... Oh, is that me? Oh, sorry. Always be on the cutting edge of the newest innovations. Yeah, hello? No. I'm doing a lecture. Yeah. That's the best dollar I ever spent. That's an interesting one. I'm taking that to South by Southwest. Right? Because everybody's going to be there with the newest, thinnest, invisible BlackBerry. Hello? What? Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be great. But think about changing the context. That's all that is. Just changing the context. When everybody in the world is on the internet, send a postcard. When people are like, whoa, hold on a minute, there's somebody at the door. Who are you? The postman. What? Hold on a minute. This guy's giving me a picture of a pissing man from Belgium. The fuck? What happens next? It gets scanned. Twitter, Facebook. All of my little rules are flexible. Take what you want. Take whatever makes sense. Just have some reasons. But momentum is king. If you have momentum, you can get money. If you have money, you can't always get momentum, and it's difficult and dangerous and very often expensive to even try, and there are lots of people who will help you. Oh, you want some momentum? I'll help you with that. Should we put the money in the toilet, straight on the barbecue, or throw it out the window? After I take my cut. Nothing beats momentum. You pour gasoline wherever there is a spark. You don't arbitrarily decide where you're going to go, like London. No, I want to move David Beckham. You find out where the sparks are. and you pour gasoline on the sparks, then you have a fire. Anybody know anything about black metal? No.
From Finland, Norway.
Norway. Oh, you guys suck. Oh, no you don't, sorry. Well, I went to Bergen, Norway. They asked me to go. The book had only been out for, I don't know, 2 months. Somebody sent me an email, we want you to come to the Hole in the Sky Festival and talk. I thought, wow, Hole in the Sky. That feels nice. Hole in the Sky. It wasn't until I got to the airport that I Googled Hole in the Sky Festival, Bergen, Norway. It is the world center of black Nordic metal. Okay? What's black metal? When these guys aren't killing each other, they're burning churches. But I was already at the airport. I went there anyway. So the first time I had like 3 screens and a piece of paper, and I threatened them. I told them that black metal was to Norway what ABBA was to Sweden. Yeah, it's bad. There's a reason I stopped drinking. But, so I had a good time. They liked me. Another organization asked me to go back. So I did, I forgot the name of their festival in February. Bilal in Oslo. When I was at Bilal, I met a guy from Scotland and we started a night together called Born to Be Wide in a pub in Scotland. And I went back to Norway a 3rd time to do a 5-city tour. While I was there doing a 5-city tour, I was in the city of Kristiansand, which is in the process of changing from a fishing-based economy to a cultural, experiential, education-based economy. The mayor of Kristiansand is a PIL fan. I'm now consulting to the city of Kristiansand. Luck? Chance? I don't fucking think so. I poured gasoline on that fucking spark, right? Data-driven decisions number 2. Does everybody have a YouTube account?
Yeah.
Do you know about Insight? You know about Insight? You see that button called Insight that I pressed? When you press it, it has to be your account. Then you get this, a map of the world. It's like Mission Impossible. A map of the world where people are viewing your videos the most. And look at this, 15 people on May the 15th. It's insane. So, you can go to the places where people like you. I think someone was talking about Google Alerts before. Let's set Google Alerts and look at this stuff. There's a band called Fest One, Los Angeles, a hip-hop band. They put a free remix tape download on their website. They put the Google Analytics widget on their webpage so they could track the downloads, and you can do that through bandcamp.com, I think. Although I think you have to set, bandcamp.com, you can sell things for $0. There's a widget for Facebook where you have to charge 49 cents for something. It's kind of fucked. But they found 1,200 kids in Beijing, China downloaded their mixtape. So they called a promoter in Beijing, China, and guess what? They had a pretty good fucking show. A bunch of kids showed up. Never take your country to war unless you're sure of the outcome. There's something called hotspots. Do you know about hotspots? Okay. Once you press your Insight button, you get that screen. I interviewed a band from Norway at South by Southwest. So I want to see if anybody from Norway watched the video. So I click on Norway. So how many people from Norway watched that video? Not many. That's, not very many at all. Good information. But hotspots has to be your account. You have to have 300 or 400 views to have enough data. The screen splits into two. This is your video. This is a timeline graph, which is slightly cut off. I apologize. It's an aggregate of audience attention. So, as soon as a bunch of people have watched your video, you can look at the data and go, wow, every time we cut to a picture of the drummer, people go, fuck this. So, you don't have to, but you can just leave the drummer out. Or have the drummer have his own video. Have your 5,000 fans watch the video without the drummer, and the drummer's 4 fans can watch his own little video. So this is the timeline attention. I'm walking around South by Southwest with one of my friends, Mary. She's a suicide girl. So what happened in the video to have people going, yeah, 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 paying attention? Her legs. Right? I mean, I could go back and just make it all legs. And me going, buy my book, now. More legs. And I'm trying to take the high ground and say, I'm not going to do that. I just haven't had time. Otherwise I would have done it. You know I would have done it. Okay, I have just a few more things to get to. This is something that I think can help protect you. If you know that you're fucked, then you're not. And I don't mean like, oh yeah, there was this crazy fucking British guy, blah, 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 fucked. You have to know that you're fucked in your head and your heart. Not slightly crispy around the edges, totally fucked. If you know and understand that, you're not. If you think that you're not, you fucking are. It's nice, isn't it? It almost has, apart from the fucks, a Walt Disney kind of a Christmassy feel. If you know that you're fucked, then you're not. If you but it's heavy. It's kind of spiritual, but it's heavy. Right? And I know what a couple of you are thinking. Heavy. I know. What is that in German? Wenn du weißt, dass du gefickt bist, bist du nicht gefickt. Wenn du glaubst, dass du nicht bist, bist du gefickt. That's the shirt, isn't it? Bist du gefickt? Question mark. Fuck. Don't have that either. Oh hey, and I should tell you, I say free is the new black. I have some ebooks here that if someone doesn't have any money, fucking take one. You can download my whole 600 pages of my book. If you have money and you don't give me any, then you will burn in the fires of hell. But if you don't have money, I forgot to mention it. Okay, just a few more things I want to get to. Everybody still okay? Are we all right for time? We okay? Don't be an asshole! Bands everywhere. I was in China. This band would just be assholes. I'm like, oh no! I thought China was going to be different. Have you had this experience? If you want to be an asshole, go be an asshole in your bedroom. Hit yourself in the face with a microphone, whatever. Headbutt yourself in the mirror. And just don't come out until you're prepared to be nice to people. I'm speaking from experience. I've been a ridiculously silly, nasty, drunken, technicolor, mirror ball, disco asshole. It's not good. And it will always be, because of Murphy's Law, you will always be an asshole to the person who could be the most help to you 6 or 7 years down the line. I think one particularly memorable explosion, I was in a dressing room, punching my way through the wall because there wasn't quite enough beer for 20 people, for me. And I upset this one guy. And I didn't know his name at the time, but I could have fast forwarded into the future and gone, is your name going to be Kevin Lyman, who's going to go on to create something called the Warped Tour? Oh, shit. And we weren't friends for a while. Now we're friends again, because that was a long time ago. But it's always going to be something like that. Just don't do it. Don't do it. You always need to do more than any sane person would ever do. That's the rule. It's 9 days a week, 28 hours a day, 57 weeks a year. That's the way it is if you want to succeed in this business. If you find yourself in bed, if you find yourself in your bed at 9 o'clock at night, thinking that was a good day, something is about to go horribly, horribly wrong. There are no economies of scale or effort or money. People either pay attention or they don't. That's it. So, if you spend $50 and 1 week on one press kit for one person that gets a review or a mention in a famous South American newspaper, was that too much money to spend? No, because now you've got a review or a mention you can put in your press kit, and you can go to some other fuckhead journalist and go, well, the guy at the Times really likes it. Conversely, if you get 50 press kits made for $1 and nobody pays any attention, was that a bargain? Was that a great deal? No. It just made a horrible first impression to 50 people. It's very difficult to take that first impression back. That's why I was talking about Goa earlier on. Goa is celebrating their 25th anniversary. Maybe 26 years ago, there was just 2 of them in a rehearsal room in Richmond, Virginia, with a drum machine, saying, hey, this could be pretty good. Me and you, we are Goa, G-W-A-R, Goa. We are Goa. Just the 2 of them. This is great. Not a problem for the sound guy. If we don't get much food, if we only get 1 sandwich, that's half a sandwich each. If we only get $20, that's $10 each. We can always sleep on somebody's floor, just the 2 of us. We can tour in a little car, and we'd save lots of money on gasoline. Yeah, this is perfect. Or we could get 10 other people in the band and a bunch of huge costumes. Then we can only tour in an old school bus, but we can only afford a poorly maintained school bus that gets really bad miles to the gallon. We'll always be hungry. There'll never be any money. Yeah, let's do that. That's why Goa is celebrating their 25th anniversary. None of this shit makes any sense. You have to go with what's important to you. Yeah, make cool shit. That's what it's about now. Led Zeppelin 3. Anybody remember that? Was that 1970 something? A disc that revolves around inside another disc with holes. What fucking sense does that make? Can you imagine being at the record label office? Oh, fuck. The guys from Led Zeppelin are coming in, there's a thing with the wheels that turn around, it's going to cost a fortune. Was there anybody at that meeting who said, yeah, where's the column for how many albums we're going to sell in 33 years' time? That guy would have been thought to be completely insane. Oh, it's not the packaging alone that makes it, it's the combination of the band, the music, and the packaging. It's very powerful. Here's the first album I played on, Metal Box, Public Image Limited. It's 3 12-inch vinyl singles in a metal film canister with the PIL logo embossed in the lid. It got some good reviews and some bad reviews. Then, there was some national publicity because some punk rock kids got into a fight. They made a hash brownie in the lid. Yeah, what's the translation for that? A pot cookie? You know the translation? I'm very worried about you. They got into a fight over who got the piece in the middle with the PIL logo on it. The fight went into the street, the police came, an ambulance came, and it was headlines in the national media. I'm not going to guarantee you that if you do something crazy and interesting with the packaging of your music, that you will get amazing secondary national press. But I will guarantee you, if you don't, you won't. That album came out in 1979. At the end of 2008, it was voted by the Wall Street Journal as one of the top 5 packaged albums of all time. Didn't make me any more money. Didn't make very much money from doing it anyway. But it just gave me a bit of a bounce in my step that day. And I was able to show a couple of people. Last year at South by Southwest, I saw this band on the street. Wow, they had a CD in a brown paper bag. Where did you get this printed? Where did you get this printed? And they laughed and they opened another one. It was completely different. Then they opened the back door of the van. Here's the bass player. Hand typing every single one. 20 minutes per album. It makes no sense at all. You can write, or you can have somebody write a check to have your CDs delivered in 2 weeks' time. Never touched by human hands. Shrink wrapped in plastic. UPC code. That doesn't matter anymore. This is the stuff that matters. This product needs to vibrate with everything about you and your band and your music. And that's how you connect with people. You can see the indentations that the keys made in the paper. It's crazy. Our dogs are hungry. Stephen is teaching me to play the violin. I still remember what it said. And I took those bags all over the world. I took them to Germany, where the students translated, if you think that you're pop, then you're not. Right? How valuable is that? Taking these bags all over the world. It's the only thing that makes sense. Here's Shogun Kunitoki. This is their handheld DIY, build-it-yourself, battery-powered strobe light kit that you build so that you can have the full experience of listening and watching their vinyl album. It's kind of like a new version of Led Zeppelin 3, isn't it? Now, I don't think they intended this But after you order the thing, it's $68 US from Denmark. And after you build the battery-powered stroller and you burn your fingers with the soldering iron, and the cat takes the resistor, and fuck you, cat! And the cat takes a shit, and you get, I've got the resistor! Sorry. You're so invested in this music, you're in no position to make an objective decision about whether you like it or not. You're going to fucking love it. I was saying that things are changing very quickly. I want to show you something else. It's stunning. This is an artist called Moldover, M-O-L-D-O-V-E-R. Yeah, if it was Moldover, he should be from here, but he's Moldover and he's from San Francisco. The titles of his songs are written in circuitry. Okay, cool, very arty. But wait. The battery's kind of dead. But I know what you're saying. Not another artist with a light sensitive theremin built in to the jewel case of their yes. With a headphone output jack. It's a fucking light sensitive theremin. It's $50. He sold 500 in the first month. Let me do the math. It's $25,000. You can pass this around if you want. You just have to make sure I get it back. Otherwise I'll kill you. But a few questions with that. Okay, what's the cost of the parts? Is he making money? I don't fucking care. Because I've spent the last month gone all over America, 4 events a day. I'm here now. I'm going to Europe in a week's time. And I go, yeah, I wrote a book. I was in a band with Johnny Rotten. Moldover. I'm not his agent. I'm not his publicist. I'm not his record label. I'm not his manager. He's a fucking genius. Somebody said, that's a gimmick. If Madonna had hired him to do that, and the light flashed when you pressed Madonna's nipple, that's a gimmick. If you watch any of the YouTube videos with this guy, this is who he is. There's videos of him on the bus, rocking out on the bus. It's fucking amazing. I love him. But even if it does cost $50 for every copy of this, look at this viral explosion of goodwill and publicity he's getting. Now, I'm sure it doesn't cost him $50 to make it. But when I called him on the phone, I'm like, hey Moldover, how's it going? He's like, ah! He's freaking out. I'm like, what's going on? How's it selling? He's like, I've sold 500 copies. Well, that's good. I'm trying to talk him down. Well, that's good. But now he had to make them. He thought he was going to have to make 30 or 40. But here's the great thing. This is his great wall of fucking China, isn't it? He gets to call all of his friends in San Francisco. What are you doing this weekend? Well, we're thinking of bike riding. No! You have to go buy a soldering iron and get your ass down here. I've sold a bunch of albums. And then all of those people get to say, sorry, I can't come to your heroin party in San Francisco. I've got to go and help fucking crazy Moldover with this fucking thing. It's, however bad the problem is, it heals and solves itself in a really cool and arty way. Okay. I have one more thing for you, kind of. I've got a ton, I can do another 2 hours, I've got a ton of shit, but I'm just going to give you a couple more things here. So, when I was in China, I bought a bunch of posters from the Cultural Revolution, and I remixed, I borrowed an idea from a punk band called The Undertones. They had a single called Teenage Kicks in 1980, and they couldn't afford a cover. So they made a poster, and they folded the poster. Oh, 10 cents. And that's what I did with posters from the Cultural Revolution. And there's 42 different posters. And some of them, I have to fold them differently because the artwork doesn't work as well, so I changed the folds. When we sell these in sets of 4, framed. Just art. Red vinyl, of course. Did something else I want to show you. Does anybody know how to screen print? Does anybody? They do? Okay, good. You need to control the printing press. Does anybody have a plate? Oh, shit. Okay. Anybody want to open a 7-inch? You gotta open it. So, oh, is this one open? And you can pass these around if you want. This side, scratch and sniff blueberry. Don't sniff it. You might be allergic to synthetic blueberry. Wow. What's it sound like? It's fucking blueberry. But something, I'm going to wrap this up. Something happened to me. I'm down in my basement. I have a big building in Chicago. I'm down in my basement fucking around with this stuff. Scratching some blueberry. Yay. Look, hold on a minute, Martin. You just turned 50. You've got 4 kids. Why don't you fucking grow up and be responsible?